In a small, bustling city, amidst the noise and chaos of everyday life, there lived a young man named Jake. Jake was like many of us, filled with dreams, ambitions, and a heart that craved love and connection. But beneath his friendly smile and the twinkle in his eyes, he carried a weight that no one could see. Jake had been in a relationship with Emily for 3 years. She was his first love, his best friend, his confidante. He believed they would spend forever together. They shared everything: secrets, dreams, plans for the future. In Jake's eyes, Emily was the missing piece to his puzzle, the person who made him feel complete. One cold November evening, in a little cafe where they first met, Emily looked at Jake with sadness in her eyes. "Jake," she began, her voice trembling, "I need to find myself. I've lost who I am in this relationship." Her words felt like a dagger to Jake's heart. He stared at her, unable to process the sudden shift from love to uncertainty. "Are you breaking up with me?" he whispered, his voice barely audible. Emily nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry, Jake. I love you, but I can't do this anymore." In that moment, Jake felt his world collapse. He didn't just lose Emily, he lost himself. His identity was so intertwined with hers that he forgot who he was without her. The days that followed were filled with silence and solitude. Jake stopped going out, stopped meeting friends, stopped doing the things he loved. Heartbreak is like a storm that sweeps into your life without warning. It tears down everything in its path, leaving behind broken pieces that seem impossible to put back together. For Jake, each day felt like an eternity. The emptiness in his heart was unbearable. He kept replaying every moment with Emily, wondering what he did wrong, what he could have done differently. But deep down, buried beneath the pain, a small voice whispered, "Maybe this is your chance to find yourself again." One morning, Jake decided he had two choices: to remain lost in his heartbreak or to find a way to heal, to rediscover who he was beyond his relationship with Emily. He chose the latter. He started small. He began with a morning run. The fresh air against his face felt liberating. The rhythmic sound of his feet hitting the pavement was like a heartbeat reminding him that he was alive. For the first time in months, he felt a spark of something, a spark of life. Jake immersed himself in new experiences. He signed up for a yoga class, where he learned the art of mindfulness and the power of breathing. He began cooking meals for himself, something he never did before, finding joy in the simplicity of nourishing his own body. He read books he always wanted to but never had the time for. He reconnected with old friends and even found joy in volunteering at a local shelter, realizing how much he loved helping others. It wasn't easy. There were days when he still missed Emily, days when he felt the weight of loneliness. But Jake realized that healing isn't about forgetting the person you loved. It's about remembering who you are without them. He sought help from a therapist, confronting his insecurities and fears, understanding that his worth wasn't defined by anyone else but himself. He started journaling, pouring his thoughts onto paper, finding solace in his words. He learned that self-worth comes from within, from accepting and loving yourself just as you are, with all your flaws and imperfections. Months passed, And Jake started to feel different, stronger. He was no longer just the guy who lost Emily. He was Jake, passionate about life, kind-hearted, resilient. He had found himself in the pieces he thought were broken. One day, as he stood on a hill watching the sunrise, Jake realized something he never knew existed. Your worth isn't tied to someone else's love for you. Your worth is inherent. You are enough, just as you are. Jake's story is a reminder that healing is a journey, not a destination. It's a path that leads you back to yourself. So, if you're feeling lost, remember that you have the power to create your own new beginning, just like Jake did. This is Jake's journey to self-worth. It can be your journey too. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspirational content. Remember, you are worthy of love, starting with the love you give to yourself.